Hello, dear students. Hope you're fine. From the medical terminology book, today we're going to work on chapter 4, Integumentary system. We work on prefixes, suffixes, we work on technical words, we also work on some general words which are important in the text. Now, before I start the lesson, I need to give you a definition for the integumentary system. Your integumentary system is your body's outer layer. It consists of your skin, hair, nails, and glands. These organs and structures are your first line of defense against bacteria and help protect you from injury and sunlight. Your integumentary system works with other systems in your body to keep it in balance. Here I have a picture in short that will help you with understanding or remembering what the integumentary system is. I've got it from the Cleveland Clinic, and here you have some important vocabulary items like epidermis, like dermis, like hypodermis, and sebaceous glands. We work on all of them in this lesson. Epi means upon, above, then you have dermis, related to skin, and then you have hypodermis. Hypo means under, bottom, beneath. Like we have hypertension means above, and hypotension, two opposite words. We have a couple of questions in the pre-text. Let's get to the first one. The uppermost portion of the skin is called, as I just told you, epidermis. Epi means upon, dermis means skin. Uppermost portion, epidermis. Question 2. The glands that secrete an oily substance that lubricates the skin are sebaceous glands. Sebaceous glands. Sebaceous means related to oil or fat. The rule of nines is a system used to evaluate burns. Question 4. A pigmented skin tumor is a melanoma. Melanoma, related to skin cancer. Question 5. The root hydro or hydro, in different words we might have different pronunciations. Hydro or hydro means sweat, or perspiration. And number 6, onychomycosis. Onychomycosis is a fungal infection of a nail. Fungal is an adjective of fungus. Good so far. Now here again we have a short picture for the integumentary system from the Cleveland Clinic. Here is the definition. You can work on it. Now, for the pretest, I have some notes here. Epi means upon, and derm or dermis means skin, like dermatologist. Dermatologist is the person who works on the skin, a doctor. The sebaceous glands release an oily fluid, sebum, that lubricates the hair and skin and prevents drying. Note for question 3. The rules of nines assesses the proportion of body surface area with partial and full thickness burns. And the word melanoma. Melanoma, a type of skin cancer that appears as a colored mark or growth on the skin. Hydro or hydro, of or by means of perspiration, sweat, of the sweat glands. And the last one, onychomycosis. Onychomycosis is a fungal infection of the nail unit. And here we have fungal infections or mycosis are any disease or condition you get from a fungus. You already know what fungus is. Okay, guys, good so far. Let's move on to the next section. Here we have a case study, which is quite important. Kathleen's pressure ulcer. I've highlighted the most important parts for you. You need to go through the text. You need to read the whole text. But the good news is that I have prepared some items for you. I have selected some general and technical vocabulary for you. We go through them just after reading this text. This is about a chief complaint. Kathleen, an elderly woman in failing health, had recently moved in with her daughter after her hospitalization for a stroke. Please study the rest of the text. Now we're going to start working on the vocabulary items. Now the first word here in the case study is disoriented. Disoriented means confused and not knowing where to go or what to do. For example, jet lag leaves you irritable, disoriented, and tired. The first one here with a good prefix is biweekly. Biweekly. The word bi means die, means two. Well, it's interesting to know that this die is basically Persian. It has an Iranian root. It means do, what we say in Persian, do, in English, two. The next word is turgor. Turgor, the state of turgidity and resulting rigidity of cells or tissues, typically due to the absorption of fluid. The next word is prominence. Prominence, the state of being easily seen or well known. Example, most of the papers give prominence to the president's death. Palpate. Palpate. Examine a part of the body by touch, especially for medical purposes. An additional technique is to palpate or tickle areas of muscular tension, also known as body armor. The next word is deteriorate. Deteriorate. It means to become worse. She was taken into hospital last week when her condition suddenly deteriorated. Here is a good word, debridement. Debridement, a treatment in which dead tissue is removed from wounds such as burns in order to help them get better. Surgical debridement was required for 66% of the patients, but no deaths were reported. Now the last word here has two pronunciations, sacral, sacral, which is the American pronunciation, and sacrum, sacral, which is the British pronunciation. Sacral, sacrum. Sacral, sacrum. American and British pronunciations. Now I go for the American one. Sacral is relating to the sacrum, the triangular shaped bone at the base of the back. The most common location of these malformations is the lumbar and sacral areas of the spinal cord. Good. Now that we have covered the Kathleen's pressure ulcer, we move to the next part. Here we have the introduction for the integumentary system. We have the introduction part, we have the anatomy of the skin, and we have associated skin structure. I've highlighted the important sections for you. Please go through them all, read them all. Here is something which is worthy of being actually worthy of discussion. Now, the word derma from Greek means skin and is used as an ending in words pertaining to the skin. Now, as I told you, this means skin, derma, and is Greek. The adjective cutaneous refers to the skin and is from the Latin word cutis for skin. So we have two technical words. Derma from Greek means skin, and cutis from Latin means skin. So when we say Latin, it means we're talking about ancient Italy or the Roman Empire. Most of the words have been taken from Latin or Greek, and some of them have been taken directly from Persian, but are generally used in Greek and Latin. I've already told you about sebaceous relating to oil or fat, and here we have percutaneous and subcutaneous. I told you that cutis means skins. Percutaneous means done through the skin, and subcutaneous means existing under the skin. Sub means under, like subway, sublingual, under the tongue. So please work on the whole text and words. We move on to the next section. Here we have a better picture of the integumentary system, detailed one, as you can see. But for the moment, we work on the terminology and the key terms. The terms listed below are emphasized in this chapter. Knowing them will help you organize and prioritize your learning. The first row is cutaneous. Cutaneous. It means pertaining to the skin, taken from the Latin word cutis, means skin. Derma. Derma, which is again skin, but from Greek. Dermis. Dermis. The layer of the skin between the epidermis and the subcutaneous tissue. Epidermis. Epidermis, the outermost layer of the skin. I've already talked about this. Epi means upon or over, and derm means skin. Now, please study the rest of this section, work on the different rows, work on the different technical terms, and also check the pronunciation if you're not sure about it. On page 129, you have a table, roots pertaining to the integumentary system. Derm means skin. Another one, for example, melano means dark or black. Hydro, I've already told you about this, means sweat, perspiration. Onychol, we had it in the pretext section. Nail. Now please work on the table, and also here we have an exercise 4.1. Work on it. If you have any problem, you can check the answers in the answer key section. There are some examples here. Hypodermis. Hypodermis. I've already told you hypo means hypo means down, bottom, the opposite of hyper. And here the root is dermis, derm, and it means skin, skin. The pronunciation of number 2 is seborrheic, seborrheic. The root is S-E-B, seb, sebo, and it means sebum, sebum. Number 3 is hypermelanosis, hypermelanosis. Hyper is the opposite of hypo. Hypermelanosis, the root is melon, melon or melano, and it means melanin, melanin. Please work on the rest of the technical terms. On page 130, we have a box 4-2 in a format of a table, of course. We have some technical terms. I'll read the first 3 ones for you. Bola, bola, which is the raised fluid-filled lesion larger than a vesicle. The next one is fissure, fissure, crack or break in the skin. And macule, macule. Macule is a flat colored spot less than 1 centimeter in size, but a larger spot is called a patch. Okay, everyone, so far so good. It's enough for this video. You please study the rest of the chapter, the rest of the pages, and work on the rest of the boxes and tables. As a recap, today we work on technical vocabulary, technical terms. We also had some general terms, general vocabulary, like what you can see here. Of course, these are technical: subcutaneous, percutaneous, sebaceous. We covered the introduction section of the integumentary system. We had a look at a more general picture of the integumentary system, like this one here and this one on page 127. We worked on the tests of the pre-test section. We worked on prefixes, suffixes, roots if we had. And in the case study about Kathleen's pressure ulcer, we had some general words with definition, pronunciation, and sample sentences, and some technical terms again with pronunciation, definition, and sample sentences if we had any. I tried to make another video for the second part of chapter 4, but for the moment it is your duty, it is your responsibility to study the whole chapter, read the whole chapter, and work on the rest of the pages. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.